rooted in substance. Not flash, rooted in substance. Right? Every moment. The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference. Right? There's a difference. Right? This game ain't gonna be played in Hollywood, it's gonna be played on the grass. Right? It's gonna be played on the grass. Let's go.
What up? How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome back to Late Night with the Garage Gamer, coming to you live from the garage. It's very chilly here in Oregon. It's 30 degrees outside, and I got some special guests again. We're going to bring up Chris.
Hello.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, here for another great night.
Let's do it. And as a special guest all the way from Florida, Samantha Azira.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'll say Oregon native though.
Right. Were you born in Oregon?
Salem, Oregon.
Okay, perfect. So we are doing good. And see if I can pull up the live chat. Overlay. So there we go. So if you guys have any chats, go for it. Tonight, let's talk about what we've been playing. So Chris, besides the game I told you to play this week, what have you been messing around with game wise?
I'm still playing Alan Wake 2.
Okay, is that getting still getting good?
Gotta finish that. It's definitely jumps around if you haven't played it because you play as two different characters in this one, and so the chapters are dependent on which character you're playing as.
Didn't the first Alan Wake game you did that a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, I beat the first one. It's a good game. It was more of an action game, whereas the second was more of a horror game. So,
what's up, Ralphie? Thanks for showing up, bro. I know you missed last week, so I'm glad you're here tonight. Thank you. Sam, besides the game I told you to play this week, what have you been up to game-wise, if you have been?
Well, I made a deal with Jen from Retro Rivals, so I've been playing Atlas Madness Returns. And then I started Mario RPG and Super Metroid on the SNES, since those were games that were on my games to play in 2024.
Nice.
Because growing up with the Super Nintendo, I only got like more platformers, not like those types of games, so I just completely missed out on them.
Chris had a Super Nintendo, and I'd go over to his house, and I don't think he had either of those games. At least he never let me play them.
No, I don't think I did at the time that we had it.
But Super Metroid is definitely an amazing game. I just love the graphics in that. Right now, it's like old school retro. It's just beautiful to look at, and then that game is very well designed, and with the puzzles, it's that Castlevania. I don't know what you call it. Metroidvania is the new term everyone's calling it, but yeah, it all started with that.
Right.
And
I would say my exposure to that game was more through watching speedruns versus me actually playing it. So I've seen the game numerous times, but I've never actually played through it.
And then Super Mario RPG, I just beat that on Switch. I'd never played that before, and I had a fun time doing it. So that's going to be a great game too. Chris, you played both those, right?
Yeah. Super Metroidvania or Super Metroid is
that's what they should call the next one.
Yeah. You know, the opening for it is pretty dark if you watch it as it scrolls through before it gives you the Super Metroid logo at the beginning.
Right.
But I just bought Super Mario RPG on the Switch, so I got to play that.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know if you can get to. There's a boss from Final Fantasy. Spoiler alert, Sam.
Yeah.
There's a hidden boss, if you know what I'm talking about. And I want to know if you beat him, Chris, because like I tried to beat him, and it's like I'm gonna leave that alone. I didn't see the point, but I'm not sure what Final Fantasy's from, but that's probably the hardest boss in the whole game is that hidden boss. You have to go through a hidden door. So
Yeah, I don't
other than that, I
remember that
beat the
one.
game.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm playing a lot of Pizza Tower 2 with my son because he
Oh,
loves
cool.
to play that game. So,
I need to check that out.
you know,
What system are you playing that on?
it's on Steam.
Okay, cool.
So I'm playing it on the PC. But he loves that game, and so every day he's off of school, I have to sit there and play that game with him.
At least it's not Roblox.
Oh, he's got that too.
You know about Roblox?
My nephews play it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
My son is playing it right now, and like he gets really frustrated in it. But I don't. I try not to let him buy anything because there's just you can just make a Roblox game and make a lot of money on there. Those little kids will just eat it up.
Yeah.
And that's the video game of the future. Unfortunately, it's here.
Yep.
All right, so let's see if I can bring. Share my screen. Let's see if I can make it big. How's that? And maybe. So this game. This game came out as a demo just yesterday. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. Maybe we'll start with Sam. Prince of Persia. What'd you think? Like, and I know you just came out with that video of all your stuff you want to play, and we're already messing it up. Maybe
Yeah.
my plan for this year is to completely mess up your list. I'm sorry,
Probably.
but you'll thank me later.
Well, so what's interesting about this is that I have actually never played a Prince of Persia game, like ever. I don't know why. I even thought I owned a copy for like PS2, and I went and looked through my collection and I don't see it anywhere, which means I've completely missed this whole genre. And what's crazy is my favorite thing on the planet is platformers. And I'm not saying it is one, but it's got a lot of platformer-esque things that I really like. So the controls are really tight, and I appreciate that more than anything else. Like you can really do some really tight moves that make you feel pretty much like a badass.
Yeah. What system did you play it on?
I played it on the PS5.
Okay, cool. Me too.
Yeah, that was. I actually really enjoyed it. If I didn't have such a backlog, I would drop $50 on it. I might sit on it, and it's not because it doesn't deserve a play, and it's definitely a good game, or from what I've played. But I think I'm gonna pause for just a moment. But I do want to play through it.
Yeah, and shout out to Ubisoft, however you pronounce it. Only $50 for this game, you guys.
Yeah.
Most games right now are 70. So that's a huge thank you to my wallet. and and shout out to them too for releasing a demo because I think that shows balls and you're letting the public play it. I really appreciate that. It seems like all the good games do that. But Chris, you played it too. What did you think so far?
Yeah, I played it on both or I should say 3 systems. So I played it on the PC, the Switch, and PS5.
Okay.
And I've played the original Prince of Persia. I was never a big fan of the old original ones. They were slow, clunky, platformer type games. They kind of ranged more in the puzzle than they did platformer. But when they hit Prince of Persia, Sand of Time, Two Thrones, the controls just got really tight and they got really good with the games. And I really, it didn't matter which system I played it on. All three versions I played, the controls were all super responsive. It was super fun to play. The one thing I did notice with the Switch version versus the other two versions is that there were areas I got to where there were multiple enemies, and in the Switch version, there was only one enemy I had to deal with. So I think in order to combat the system limitations of the Switch compared to the other ones, they had to do something there. But I will say that as far as the PC version, I absolutely hate Ubisoft's setup in order to play a demo. I had to install 8 different programs in order just to play the one demo. So I think of all the systems I would buy this on, if I were going to buy it, it'd have to be the PlayStation 5 at this point. Just because being able to play on a big screen is so much easier than handheld Switch.
Yeah, I thought from what I read about this is that there's that Ubisoft Connect that you got to start with on Xbox and PlayStation, and you got to sign into your Ubisoft account and give them your credentials. That kind of sucks. But I guess on Nintendo Switch it's there, but you don't have to use it. So that's the positive of using it on Nintendo Switch. And I tried it on PlayStation 5 and it wasn't really connecting to my account. And you can't save I guess you can't save your game unless you do that on in the demo. But you can play it on all these systems. You can play it on a lot of the older ones, PS4, Xbox One X, even. But I thought the game, I'm really impressed with it. I'm looking forward to it next week. I think I'm going to buy this day one. Apparently, it's consistent 120 frames a second on Series X. PlayStation 5 it drops a little bit under that sometimes, but still plays really good with that DualSense controller, I thought. And it's got that Metroidvania style map in there. I love that stuff. And Sam, I don't know if you played Metroid Dread yet, but it kind of reminds me of Metroid Dread a little bit with the graphics, and everything just feels really smooth. And I'm looking forward to getting deep into this one.
I'll say, do you see it right there, Metroid Dread?
No, let me pull up your.
It's dark in here. But no, I've seen it. I haven't played it. But Prince of Persia, when I was playing it, my husband was complaining about the graphics, and I thought they were fine. I have no problems with the 2D platformer, Metrovania. I liked the way it looked. I liked the cutscenes. I liked all of it, but for some reason, he really did not. And he was thinking back to when this game was more of like a 3D versus the 2D. I mean, I haven't been exposed to the old styles, so like for me, it was fresh eyes and I loved it. So I don't know if other people are going to feel that way as well, but
Well, this is very much in the style of the original Prince of Persia. The ones he's talking about was the Sands of Time and then the Two Thrones. So those were I believe that was the original Xbox PS2 era, and then into the 360 and PS3 is when they did the 3D Prince of Persia games. And I honestly thought the graphics were great with this. I like the art style. I'm perfectly fine with the cell shaded kind of art style they were going for with this one.
I agree.
So
Yeah, and well, in the typical Ubisoft game, it's like that. What are those games that have been out lately? I know they just did Avatar and Far Cry, I think. Man, there's those huge long games where it's nothing like this. This is just seems it's simple, but they didn't go outside their means. I guess it's just they just perfected this type of adventure. I guess.
I think it's great. It definitely would be a game to get me into the series. Like what they did, from what I could tell, was a great game. And I mean, I'm not personally invested in the story. I mean, I listened to all the cut scenes that we were able to get, but it's definitely very cool.
Yeah.
well, and that was the other thing I noticed is it had a little dialogue that said the game is focused on the combat, and they removed a lot of the story elements from this demo because they didn't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of appreciate from a demo to be able to just kind of experience the gameplay aspect of it and see if it's something that I'm gonna want to try out. Um, I was kind of disappointed in what they had as a story, and I wanted to get more of that. So maybe that's a hook for some people is they want to experience the story, and so not having that there, they're going to be more likely to buy it day one.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd be curious to hear how good this sells, because I think people should play it.
Yeah, and my other dilemma too is the new Yakuza game comes out later this month, so it's like,
The Like a Dragon sequel?
yeah, what's it called, Chris? Uh,
I don't know which one this one is.
you know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a continuation of Like a Dragon, which is the turn-based Dragon Quest spoof RPG, which was a great game. I just got my butt handed to me by too many times.
Yeah, didn't you get stuck in some part or something?
Yeah, it was after the Bleach Japan Wrecking Ball, when you have to go through the secret pathway through the like restaurant or tea shop or something, and then you go to the underground area and everything like falls apart. It's that boss that I got stuck on.
I haven't played that game, so I need to go back. But it's like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
So
Dragon is great. It's got lots of character. The main guy is relatable. It's funny. I mean, Yakuza is a funny series and serious. Um, I would say that this character, compared to the traditional Yakuza series, which I adore, he is a little bit more quirky and relatable as compared to 0 through 6. But they're all amazing. I would start with Yakuza 0 if anyone's never played it.
yeah, I have. Let me say I do have the last Yakuza game, but I haven't played it. So I have a copy of it, and that's the
You're
way
talking about
I am.
6? Yeah.
Yes. So I got it sealed. I need to
Mine's
do it.
sealed too.
I need to do a whole video of like all my sealed games I have. It's really bad. It's really bad.
If I have
Yeah.
sealed games, it's just because I haven't played them yet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we got plenty of time later in life. I don't know. Let's see what else. I wanted to talk about. So CES is going on in Vegas this week, guys, and there's some more new stuff that got announced. So I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this thing. This is the new. I don't know, Sam. Do you have an original Xbox, right?
I have a couple.
Did you have which controllers did you have? Did you have the
Both. I
big?
had both. I had the
Yeah.
Duke, and then I had the regular one.
So they came out with the Duke a couple of years ago for Series X,
That's funny.
and it's completely unnecessary.
I loved how when it came out, people complained about it, so then they redid it. But it's like such a legend that they redid the Duke years later.
Right.
That's funny.
But now, yeah, now we're doing. They're calling this the Duchess,
That's funny.
and there's a white one and there's a black one. And let's see if I can show you the black one. I think the black one is speaking to me. I might get that black one.
It looks pretty sleek. That
And
D-pad looks like it's pretty good. Not that you ever use it, but
right, yeah, you won't use it that much. But I guess the oh god, the thumbsticks, they're going to be all Hall effect. So they're using magnets, so there's going to be no stick drift or anything like that. It's got the share button in the middle. I think, yeah, depending on what the price is, hopefully it's affordable, but I think I might get that. Chris, what
is
do
it
you?
really wired?
Yes, it is wired. So if
Uh,
you remember the original ones had those big memory cards you stick on the top, so
Oh,
it
I'm
won't have
aware.
that.
yeah, I don't know about that corded controller again.
A lot of the third party Xbox stuff is comes corded, and I'm not sure if that's a thing where they're. Oh, dude, your brother's in the chat. Thank you. I love the
I'll
S
say
control.
corded was always amazing when I wanted to use it on my PC before I got my like dongles, but other than that, I don't find a current use for modern controllers that are wired.
Right.
I
Oh,
mean, good for them for sticking for the OG feel, though.
and then I've got this thing. Let's see. I might have a bad image of this, but I'm going to share it anyway. There is a new. They're calling this the Mega 95. And yeah, my image is it's kind of too big. But anyway, you guys get the point. Like, so what it is, it's a device that'll play your Sega Genesis games like a Nintendo Switch. And it's got that 6-button control pad, and you can plug in Sega Genesis Sega Genesis controllers in the bottom of it. Depending on the price, like, and I guess it all depends on that, but that's kind of cool too. Sam, do you
It's
have a
like
lot of Genesis carts laying around the house?
I've got a small collection. It's not as big as my others, like PlayStation and Nintendo, but I've got a decent amount. I mean, I think my most expensive one is Castlevania Bloodlines. I have the Sega Master System, the Genesis, the Dreamcast, the Saturn. But all of those collections are pretty small. But this would be a great alternative, uh, giving you that kind of handheld. What was it called? The Sega Game Gear with the 8 batteries, which I have, but I don't have eight
Right.
batteries to burn. And the quality of the Genesis cartridges are going to be better than the Game Gear anyway.
Exactly. Oh, there we go. Better. That's a better image.
Is there any specs on the screen? Like, is it OLED? Is it?
I have a feeling it's not OLED. It
Yeah.
says you can get two aspect ratios, 4:3 and 16:9, but I don't know why you do the 16:9 in a old Sega Genesis game.
It's probably LCD.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably LCD.
I mean, as long as it keeps the cost down, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, with a screen that small, it's kind mildly obsolete anyway.
And your brother's chiming in on the Microsoft. They've always been super stingy with their wireless controller protocols. Whole reason you get an adapter to use the 360 controller on your PC. Yeah, I still got my 360 arcade stick. Actually, I got a couple of them.
I still have my 360 wireless dongle plugged into my computer right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when you had a bunch of Sega Dreamcast arcade sticks.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I had a couple of them, and I don't know what I did with them all. That's so weird. Like, and once you get older, Sam, like, or maybe you're like this already, but like you'll buy something like years ago, and like I don't know what the heck I did with that. Like it
Yeah.
was here.
Like I'm telling you, I owned a Prince of Persia game for Xbox, but I do not see it anywhere.
Right. I remember also, and I'm really old school. I remember playing. Uh, I remember playing the original Prince of Persia on PC, like the one that came out in the 80s. Chris,
See,
did you?
we were looking it up, and he was like, "Holy crap! It came out in the '80s," and I was like, "There's no
Yeah,
way." I thought it was a '90s thing.
it was like a shareware game. Do you remember that, Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah, and like it was all about like there weren't any enemies or guys you had to fight. It was all you'd have to jump. And it was like a platformer. You avoid the spikes, but it just kept getting harder and harder. You'd move from room to room. So that was the original Prince of Persia. So there's some of that in this new one.
do you
I'll say,
remember King's Quest?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say PC for me was like Age of Empires 2 and like Sims and Time Machine, and I didn't really. Other than that, I didn't do a lot of PC gaming.
Yeah, no, Chris, definitely. I love King's Quest. I love Space Quest, Heroes Quest. What were the other good ones? Ah, there's a ton of old PC games. Some of them were on Steam still.
I'll say, well, I'm married to a PC master race scumbag, and he likes Half Life and Fable and Guild Wars and
But you
keep
like
going.
Fable. You like
I
Fable.
okay, I do like Fable, but I didn't play it on the PC. I even have Half Life 2 for Xbox. Those load screens are pretty painful, but I deal with it.
Right. Speaking of Fable, I'll go to this topic.
Oh, is it the trailer?
Well, I don't have. Oh, I could get the trailer, but I was gonna.
It's a little weird.
It
I'm
is a
very
little weird,
interested. Because it doesn't feel like Fable.
right? So there is going to be a Xbox Developer Direct next week, Chris. I know you were talking last week. There was going to be some Nintendo announcement. There wasn't. I guess unless you count you can play Golden Sun on Nintendo Switch
Well, there's that one,
online.
and then there was the I don't know if you saw AI Shark, formerly Game Shark.
Okay, well we can talk about. Yeah, let's talk about that. The Switch 2, because
Oh,
I want a clip for my YouTube shorts. Switch 2, that's coming this year, and I guess some that Game Shark thing they leaked it for maybe September. So,
are you
woof,
talking about the
I,
cart that can do a bunch of stuff on it?
no, no,
The
no,
cheat,
not that.
the cheat. Game Shark was the old. You
Yeah, the cheat
plug your
device.
cartridges in and you could use cheat codes and everything. Well, they're apparently now under the name of AI Shark is the name of the company, and they
Ooh,
had a release date for their new Game Shark for the Switch 2.
that's funny that they're still making that. I remember using it for like the Game Boy Color for like Pokemon.
Whatever happened to the game Genie?
Oh yeah.
Who has the rights to that? They need to bring that back. Seems like that would be the way to go. But anyway, yeah, you're announcing a new product. you might as well say if it's for Nintendo Switch, it's like, yeah, we're announcing it for Nintendo Switch 2 or Switch 2, whatever they're calling it, the Super Switch. So rumor is $400, maybe September if this guy is, unless these guys are lying.
I
So
mean, I wonder what kind of improvements they're going to make for that. I mean, because it's only what, $100 more than an OLED.
right. So I think Nintendo they don't need to go too expensive, and I just want some, I wanted to play 4K. I wanted to have a little more memory. It needs to be able to compete with some of the newer systems,
I think
but
with
I'm
Nintendo,
excited.
they'll never actually ever compare to PS5, Xbox, and then the renditions. I think they'll always be like a generation behind, and that's just their thing because they always want to do that like niche market. And honestly, with their licensed games like Mario, Zelda, and things like that, they don't really need that powerful like hardware. I'd be curious to hear. Do you know if it's backwards compatible?
Hopefully, yeah,
Yeah,
it needs to be. If it's not backwards compatible, I'm gonna throw a fit.
Yeah. Because I'd be curious, because it's like a double-edged sword. If it's backwards compatible, then prices stay the same. But if it's not, and everyone moves on to the latest and greatest, do Switch prices finally drop?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna drop, but
Probably not.
I think at least they better bring over your Switch Online account to the new
Yeah.
one at the bare minimum. If it won't take the cards, and it better take the cards, but at the bare minimum, it better take all your saved everything you bought from the Nintendo Switch store. It better port it over, or I'll be really pissed.
Do you think they'll do finally a GameCube like library?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
they have been making money from porting, so it's which one is more beneficial.
I'd love Eternal Darkness to come back.
Mm. I love that first. Well, it wasn't the first, but the GameCube game, Smash Brothers Brawl for the GameCube. That was my favorite one.
Melee,
Yeah, and there were some good Zelda games that came out.
but Twilight and
There was that one that had
not Twilight. What was it?
you'd hook up your Game Boy Advance to it. Did you have that, Chris?
Uh,
And you could have four links going on the screen at the same time if you had four Game Boy
Four
Advances.
Swords.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be. They could port that online. They could probably do that for Switch right now. I would love
I'll
that.
say, but Wind Waker, you could hook up your Game Boy Advance and then do like a Tingle Bomb thing. That was weird.
Okay.
It was like a mini map with Tingle, the little creepy pedo elf.
Who doesn't want a little tingle in their life?
Yeah.
I was gonna make a really adult joke there, but I will refrain from saying anything because Sam's here.
Me, you've met me. You know I'm not. Like
Yes, this is the hour of children, so we must be careful what we say.
your kids are still awake?
No.
sarcasm?
Yeah.
I did hear. Apparently, if you say like a f bomb on your first like 5 minutes of your YouTube stream or whatever, it's not good.
It suppresses it or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to stay with that rule.
Yeah, do you know who Square Pegs is?
Yes, he's the older guy.
Yeah.
He's older than me, right?
Yeah,
he's
he worked for EA. He helped develop a couple of games. But when I spoke to him, he said that when he kept his videos clean through and through, that the videos just did better. I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say because I don't script anything. So whatever comes out of my mouth is going to happen. But he did say that it seemed like things were pushed more by YouTube when they didn't have any curse words.
yeah, I would agree with that probably. But Sam, you're the big YouTuber here, so
Oh, so big.
yeah. But No, seriously, guys, and if you're, I know like there's only 4 people, I guess, in the chat right now or whatever watching, but check out her channel because she's got a ton of stuff. Like it reminds me of like Chris and I, like we when all the games we bought, but pretend like we never sold them. That's what Sam's got right now. Like she's got everything. She's got so many systems. Chris used to have a ton of stuff,
Yep.
but I like we sold a lot of it. You trade it in because you got to get the new one. We were kids, like yeah, we don't have any money. You gotta to get the new system. You need to sell the old one. That's what we did.
That's how you
Yeah.
move along.
Yep.
I would say I'm almost certain, and if I had known that I could trade stuff in for the latest and greatest, I might have. But I really wasn't exposed much to anything, so like what I had is what I had, and I just played it and I kept it. So that mentality just like went on throughout life, and I never sold my stuff really ever. I mean, the only time I ever sold it was when I was getting married and I needed money to get married. And then afterwards, the collecting almost got worse. It's like when you go on a diet and then when you binge, it's like 10 times worse than what you would have done before. So great.
How did you? Maybe you talked about this before, but how did you get your whole collection from Oregon to Florida?
Oh, God. We ended up renting a moving like truck, and I bought probably $200 worth of plastic totes, and I had a very large roll of bubble wrap, and everything made it here. Nothing broke. We're good, but it did. Like, I would say you would probably have to invest at least a collection of my size, like a couple $100 to make sure it got there safe. And we didn't rely on a moving company because even that year is a little sketchy depending on like where they're going and how they're driving, and they
Oh,
how you stack it and things like that.
oh yeah, you hear horror stories of people moving and like your whole life and then your whole life stuff, and the moving people don't make it there.
Yeah.
Like they go somewhere else and then they go sell your stuff. Like
Yeah. So
that,
luckily we drove our own stuff.
yeah. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
And you got everything back all safe and accounted for,
It's all
sounds
here.
like. So that's amazing.
I'll say I think I was most worried about my CRT TV, but it works perfect. It's great.
Nice. I need to get a CRT television out here in the garage.
Can't play Duck
Maybe.
Hunt without it.
Yeah.
No, I can play Duck Hunt still. I've got it. I've got it on my Steam Deck now, dude.
I do.
Actually, you know what? I've even bought that on. There's a version on the Nintendo Switch you can get.
But do you really want to play without the light gun?
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of DuckTales.
Okay, I was
Excuse
gonna
me.
say I was wondering.
DuckTales. Too many ducks. It's late for me too, I guess. All right, but I wanted to get back to this. Okay.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
So-
Fable.
Yeah, so Xbox Developer Direct announced for January 18th. So it looks like they're going to talk about they're going to talk about the new Indiana Jones game. And there's a rumor that it could, like there's a little thing here. Indiana Jones game is releasing in 2024, sources say. Interesting.
I wonder what style they're gonna go with.
Hopefully they go third person.
Yeah.
But then also they're going to talk about Avowed by Obsidian, Aura History Untold by Oxide Games, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. So that I think that's that's the big one. But maybe nothing on Fable.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I've only seen the trailer and it was strange.
Last year too, when they did this, they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush. Do you remember that, Chris?
Yeah, that was a good game.
So I wonder if they're going to shadow drop something else. That would rule.
Yeah,
And
I don't know
yeah,
what
go
that
ahead.
Indiana Jones game, it being developed by Bethesda.
It's not being developed by. Well, it's being developed by. Yeah, I guess the Bethesda. It's by ZeniMax.
ZeniMax is the
That doesn't sound right.
parent company of Bethesda, which is now owned by Microsoft. Uh,
It's being developed by Machine Games, and they previously did Wolfenstein.
yeah.
So that it is a stretch. So maybe they got Harrison Ford to do some of the voice acting.
What, like they did
Well,
for Guardians of the Galaxy and Chris Pratt? Not them. They didn't develop that, but I'm just saying.
yeah. Well, Chris Pratt's and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
because Machine Games, Wolfenstein games were first-person shooters, so I don't know.
I would.
We'll see.
What would you want it to be? Because Indiana Jones is about like discovery and adventure, right? So like my mind goes to like newer Tomb Raider, but I wouldn't want it to be like identical to that. Obviously, would you want it to be? I
I
mean,
think
because open
Tomb
world
Raider,
wouldn't work.
Tomb Raider style, uh, the third-person view would probably be the best way to go with it, but it's got to be a linear game. Open world
Right.
just doesn't work for Indiana Jones.
It really wouldn't. It would be more like opening a map and discovering new ancient like tombs or getting assigned like Jones, we need you to go do this, and then things go haywire and there's snakes and whatever else.
The enemy's already inside the tomb that's never been discovered before, and he found the only entrance in, but somehow there's all these Nazis in there already.
Right.
I was thinking maybe they just go back and fix the last movie. Did you guys see the last movie? It was absolutely terrible.
The last one I
I,
watched was with Shia LaBeouf.
yeah, there's a newer one than that. So imagine that one, and that one was pretty bad. Imagine making it even worse. That was the latest one.
I'll say if they keep this up, he's gonna kill himself off like Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they that last Indiana Jones was a bad movie. The Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
oh god, it was yeah.
Could you imagine like going around a tomb and like somehow similar to Witcher 3, like Witcher 3, the Witcher sense, like if there was a way to like find your way into the tomb, and then there was like puzzles, and then there was like traps. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I won't play it unless Indy can hide in the fridge. Okay, that was that was one of the cool things in the Shia LaBeouf movie.
The boof.
Yeah. No, it should be puzzle oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have puzzles. You could have romance for Sam because she probably likes that stuff. You totally have do fist fighting, and you got to have stuff with the whip, and you could do the gun. He's pretty good with the gun.
But you could use the whip
Maybe
to
until he
like
gets older.
swing across stuff or like knock things
Right.
out of people's hands.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
in Witcher 3, I'm not gonna say that I didn't romance some ladies, but
oh, have you played all the Mass Effect games yet?
no, it's
I
it's
want
in,
to.
it's in
You
the
need to come
backlog.
back here. I will put that on the backlog. I want to see what I want to see what what aliens you go all the way with in that game. Play Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. See,
Uh,
I skip one?
yeah,
Is
you
it
could. Well, one is pretty good. The one you want to skip is 3.
3? Andromeda
Yeah,
or Androm?
that's 4.
Yeah, I heard that one wasn't very good either.
Yeah, I completely skipped that one, but I made it to about halfway through 3 and I got bored with it.
Mm.
But 2 is very good. 1 is cool because you get there's a little rover you can go on the planets with and drive around.
Yeah, I got
You played this,
the
Chris, right?
Yeah, I played 1 and 2. I didn't play 3.
But yeah, we need to get you back on, Sam. Put that to the list for this year. You're
Mass
playing Mass
Effects.
Effect 2. And I want to see what are you going to be. You could be a male shepherd or female shepherd, and then we want to hear what aliens you consummate with.
My relations.
Yeah.
I need to finish Baldur's Gate 3.
You're never gonna finish. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, did you hear? There's news on that too. So apparently, it's on Xbox now. I ordered the physical copy and it hasn't arrived yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But you can screenshot or you can make videos and screenshot stuff now of relations, maybe with the bear. But Xbox is banning some of those stuff, so I guess it gets pretty bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Good for them.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Boulder Gates 3 is on the list, but I'm gonna have to get it for PC because I'm gonna play it with my husband and he won't. That doesn't. It wouldn't be a game. I don't even think you could play it on split screen just because of how it is. And even if you could, it would be awful.
You could have a little network in your house, and you could. I think you can probably play it that way.
Is there crossplay?
Yeah, I believe so.
I only have the OG Xbox One though, so it wouldn't look very good.
Oh, I was thinking on PC.
Oh, PC, yeah.
Yeah. But I bought it for Series X. So you're playing that right now, right, Chris?
I have it on my PC. I haven't
Okay.
finished the first chapter. I've been too busy. Like, I get to options, save it beforehand, and then I make a choice, and I'm like, I didn't like that choice. Let's go back and redo it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I really shouldn't do this. I should just play through the game.
Just go through it.
Well, I heard it's got great replayability because you can just like develop a new character, go through it, and different choices basically change like the timeline.
Oh, it very much does. And then it has the actual Dungeons and Dragons roll the dice in order.
I saw that.
And I was like, this is kind of it's an interesting way to introduce people who have never done Dungeons and Dragons into how it works.
Yeah. I'll say I've played it a few times, like Dungeons and Dragons. I like playing a barbarian. Her name is Willow. I drink a lot and I cannot read.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and it's not like you can go exactly like you could when you're trying to duplicate someone exactly. Like you can make some of their same choices, but you're not going to be able to duplicate their roles.
Right.
So that makes the interesting variable in it.
I mean, bolt my
So
desk down so I get a nat 1. I don't flip my desk.
You should put that on live stream yourself on Twitch doing it, and then we can do that. Yeah, that would go viral. Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys. Man, the chat is dead tonight compared to last week. So I don't know, everyone's asleep.
It's all this ice and snow. It's just put everyone to bed.
Yeah, everyone's freaking out here. But I know there's some people on the East Coast that'll watch this in the morning, probably. So
Well, they're getting ready for that
enjoy
Kansas
the
City
not
game.
snow in Florida.
yeah, you can post a picture at the beach tomorrow. Well, we'd really enjoy that.
It's so cold. It's 65 degrees.
Woo.
Yeah,
Sounds
I actually
good to
was
me.
in Oregon around December 10th, but it was for a really short time, and I was freezing my butt off.
Yeah. Well, I remember the one time I went to Florida, we went to St. Augustine, and it must have been 110 degrees, and we went inside a fort on the coast there, and it's like basically going in an oven.
Mm.
I thought I was gonna die.
That's brutal.
And like like you're used to the Oregon weather, and you go there. Oh my god! So
Yeah, it's pretty rough. If you come like, let's see, like March to May, it's not that bad. But if you come like July, August, that's like it's at its worst.
and then the bugs there. The bugs are like 5
They're
times
big.
bigger than anything in Oregon.
Like if the bugs collected, they'd
Holy
eat my dog.
yeah! There's a lot of things there that'll kill you. Basically,
Yeah.
there's alligators,
The drivers.
the drivers, the
Oh
Uber
yeah.
drivers.
No, just the
Anybody.
drivers. People around here are nuts. They don't know what a blinker
Bath
is either.
salts.
Bath salts. Oh yeah, and then there's the guy from Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. He lives in Florida.
Did I hear that Grand Theft Auto 6 was having a female person
There's going to be a male and a female.
like
It sounds
to
like
choose from?
it's going to switch back and forth. I think.
That'll be interesting.
Like you play Grand Theft Auto 5 where you got the 3 guys and you're like, I think it's
Right.
it's going to do
Isn't
that.
it 4?
It's going, or maybe it's 4.
I think eventually.
No, it was 5.
Is it 5?
Is it
5
5?
was 5 was the one with Trevor and
Yeah, no. How many guys
No, it was
it?
4
though?
people.
there was 3. No, there's 3.
Trevor,
Okay.
So it was
Michael,
Trevor.
and then whoever the guy is with the dog, and then after that, I thought you opened up a guy who's like a business guy.
Mm,
That was business guy was Michael.
No, not Michael. He's no longer a business guy. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there was 4, but
That was a great game.
I'd be if I cannot be as much as a degenerate as a woman as a man, I'm gonna be pissed. Like you better
Yeah.
not censor nothing just because she's got lady bits.
Oh, we love you, Sam. Chris, do you want to have anything else you want to say before we let you go?
no,
You're just chilling.
this was a lot of fun.
Oh, I was gonna tell you guys too. The game I was playing this week was Star Trek Resurgence. I started playing that on my Xbox Series X, and I don't like it.
Oh no.
So I think I got it for $40, but it's not. It kind of looks like a game that would come out on the 360, and it's like a movie, and you make choices as the movie happens. So you can make different paths and go different routes, and there's one point you go on the planet and you're using a tricorder, and it's not. I don't know. It hasn't been fun. So I'm almost through Act 2. I'll probably finish it, but I wish I could have given you a nice review on that one, but I'm not impressed.
So does it play like the supermassive games Until Dawn?
I believe so. There's a Walking Dead one I think they did.
So it's like the
Yeah.
Telltale series
Right.
type stuff that like Borderlands, Batman, kind of Life is Strange-esque.
Yeah, right. Life is Strange is like that. Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just not into those type of games. So I definitely bought it for the Star Trek, but
Oh, say, have you
someone
ever?
out there needs to do a good Star Trek game. Like there's tons of Star Wars games out there. There's not much Star Trek. So
Yeah.
one day
The last Star
we'll get a
Trek
good
game
one
I
again.
saw was for Star Trek VR, the VR for the PS4, and learning all of the controls for your position was like a long time. Like the introduction just to learn that part. And on paper it should have worked out great because you could run a ship with other people over the internet. But I think the game did very poorly just because it was so complicated.
Kristen, you have that?
Yeah, I've got it on my Quest.
Yeah.
Or
Somehow I never played that.
MetaQuest. And if you can get a group of people together to play it, it's fun to play.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you get on there and it's like, oh, hey, I got 2 NPCs with me,
Right.
and they just kind of sit there and do nothing. So you're like, okay, I'm going to be the captain now, but then I need to go over here to be an engineer, and I'm like, it's just not fun when you play it by yourself.
Yeah. It was an investment from what I saw, but I got Star Wars Rogue something for VR for PS4 really cheap at GameStop recently,
Mm.
where you had to man like the actual ship in the VR.
Oh, it's not Rogue Squadron. It's yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give that a whirl soonish.
Yeah, I think that I saw that. I know. I'll have to look it up. But I
Yeah.
saw that game the other day. It was $2 on
Yeah,
Steam.
super cheap. I heard it was
Yeah,
pretty decent.
yeah. People just didn't like it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But Sam, thank you for joining. We really appreciate you. Maybe you'd like to do this again next week or whatever. So we're pretty chill, and I need to get more people in the chat. So we'll have to share it again, and I need to do a little more hype. But you want to promote your channel before you go, and
Yeah, it's just
anything else you're working on?
Samantha Azira, and usually I don't know what I'm working on until I'm releasing it, to be honest. But I have been building a template for ways to battle your backlog and my thoughts on that. So I think that will hopefully be a pretty decent video. Um, one of the things I've noticed about a lot of channels who talk about the backlog is everyone always talks about it as this tedious, like stressful thing, and it's like, why are we saying that about backlogs? They're an amazing thing to have. Like your childhood self would like lose their minds. It is awesome to have a backlog. It shouldn't be stressful. And just because you're not playing your games, you shouldn't feel bad about it. You can get to them eventually. But I wish people would stop talking about the backlog as this like bad, stressful thing. And if it is stressing you out, you should just sell your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's not like you got the backlog, but I just don't have any time to play
Right.
any of it. So I just got to battle when I can play it, because it seems like you don't have any kids, do you?
Nope.
So that's like, imagine if you had kids and they're like, they're they got all your attention, and then like your spouse, and then like you got to do chores around the house, and then I finally got to of doing work, of course, and then you finally get a chance to play some video games for a little bit, and then it cycles again and again. And
Yeah.
so I remember being a kid and like you had all the time in the
Oh,
world.
yeah. Play the
And
same
going
game
over to
6
Chris,
times.
yep, going over to Chris's house, we'd have those play Super Nintendo all night. Back in the day at your house, dude. You awake?
Yep. I'm
Yeah.
listening. I'm taking it in.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say
I'm like
one
a
of the
sponge right now.
the sponge. Yeah, one of the suggestions was like obviously switch up the genres, but also be mindful, like make a list. That way you're taking out the decision fatigue. You don't have to decide what you're going to play. You already have your list, but also looking forward ahead to see like how long the game is. So you have one game that's like 60 hours, then maybe the next game's only going to be like 12. And then that way you're alternating something that's not so long and taxing. But in your case, I mean, that would be very difficult because if you don't have time, I mean, you could always say, like, well, you can make time, but that's not really realistic. I mean, family
And then
chores
add
and stuff is always
right,
going to come first.
and then add YouTube on top of that.
Right.
So at least I do enjoy these live streams because we can just talk and bullshit. It's nothing I have to edit or anything. So
Right. Have you ever considered live streaming video games?
I have, and no one's watched it, like this tonight's show.
Yeah.
So we should be going on Twitch tonight. I don't know. I'll have to check later. And I do buy some stuff. So I bought some stuff from Nintendo. I know I'm keeping you late, but I got a new dock, refurbished dock for the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna have it out here in the garage. So I've got 2 docks, one for the living room, and then I've got one out here, so I can do some live streaming for that. Got a new AC adapter refurbished. So if you get these on the Nintendo .com, they're cheaper if you buy them refurbished. So I haven't tested any of these yet, but I figure you need a dock, you need an AC adapter. I've got plenty of HDMI cables, so I'll be good to go there. And then I got this, Chris. This is a special thing.
Oh, from the PAX West?
Yep. Well, yeah, from Nintendo Live.
Yeah.
So when we went to Nintendo Live, Sam, there was a merchandise stand, and the line to get merchandise was several hours long. So
Did they
I was
opt
able
to send it to you, or?
yeah, I bought this on their website.
Oh, okay. I watched your video about it, right? You did a video?
Yeah, we did a video, but I got a little pennant now, so I'm really stoked. I'm gonna put this up somewhere, and I can't talk. It'll remind us of our trip, Chris. So there you go.
That was fun.
I wish they're not doing it this year. It sounds like, but maybe in 2025 we'll see. Maybe we can get Sam to come out.
To fly out?
Yep.
I mean, I go to Oregon at least once a year, sometimes twice.
Yep. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. You falling asleep, Chris?
Not yet.
All right. We'll let you go, dude. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We do have 5 people in the chat, so 4 people on YouTube right now.
Well, I'm sure those numbers will go up.
Yeah, what I do, Sam, is I've been splicing these up on YouTube Shorts, and I did 2 with Chris, and his videos that I did with him got like 1,500, and I did one today, 1,700 views, Chris.
Wow.
You've been holding back on me.
Yeah, 1.7K. They love you, dude.
Yeah, it's the beard. It brings
I'll
all
say
the
I'm not
people out.
proper, man.
Seriously. So I'm gonna see. So and I put it in that it's completely automated. AI does it. So I'm gonna let it happen and see what I get from this week.
We'll have fun with the lady bits for Grand Theft Auto.
That'll go really good. I need to get some good B-roll for that.
There you go. All right.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you. We're gonna try to do this again next week on Friday. If Sam wants to come on, she's more than welcome. Please watch this in the replay. If you haven't, give me a like. Consider subscribing. Chris, you're welcome too, of course. And I guess we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care.
Thanks so much. Peace. And how do I end it again? I had this problem last week too. Son of a gun, where's the button? Oh, here we go.